What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Teej pack. Teej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teej Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teej pack. Feel the Teej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for rocking out for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. I see y'all in the building already on a Friday. It is Friday, June 30th, 2023, year of our Lord. And we got to get right to it. We got to get right to it because Anton got places to go, people to do. That sounds about right. Anton got places to go and people to do. We got a lot to get through throughout the day, and so make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, shout out to Teej Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. If you have not gotten your Teej pack, then we are sorely mistaken, and apparently we are in the wrong place because you need to be doing the thing that's in your own best interest. And if you knew how smooth my skin was, if you knew how it was that we was moving over here in the Patreon and the Bag Chasers and the Millionaire Morning Show, you would have already had your Teej pack. So I'm expecting for you guys to get that Teej Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. And if you have not gotten into the Patreon, then we already know that you just want to be Dusty. Anybody that's not a part of the Bag Chasers, we already know what the dust look like. It just has not settled yet. So shout out to everybody in the building. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Rita. Honey. I think that I turned the air on. I think I turned it off. I think I turned it off by mistake. Can you go and check that? Anyways, let's go ahead and get straight into the show. I got a lot of places to be today. Let me check out let me go and check these out, these super chats really quickly. Shout out to Mike Jones in the building. Says good morning, Anton. Today is no fumble in the bag on a Friday. Caught your show last night on a top hip hop artist. Top 5, no debate. Number 1 is Jay-Z. Number 2 is LL Cool J. 3 is Ice Cube. 4 is KRS-One, and 5 is Rakim. Your list is has never been more wrong. Your list has never been more wrong, Mike Jones. I can't wait to see y'all on Fight Club tonight. I know the chat is going to be insane. I know the panels is going to be insane. I know everything. What's wrong, babe? Either one is fine. I know everything is going to be absolutely insane tonight out here in these Fight Club streets. So that should be interesting. Shout out to you. Shout out to Big M Dub is in the building. Says, great morning. Moist Watkins had me crying. Oh my God. Boyce Watkins is something else. I don't know what we're going to do with Young Boyce. Shout out to Young Caps in the building. Says, hey, Anton, I have to watch on replay. Is it smarter to get a second job or work for DoorDash? Thanks for all that you do. Both. Both. Why are you limiting yourself? Every available moment that you have, if you're just sitting around playing video games, yo, let me break it down like this. The way that I break down my time is, and here I'll just let me just answer this in its entirety. That's a really good question before we get into the show. The way that I go about doing it is not whether or not I got one or two jobs or anything like that, right? The way that I break down how it is that I go and chase bags is I break it down based off of the amount of time that I have in a day. So, for example, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Here in Miami, I have not really left out of the condo. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I try to get places that's really, really nice. Because if I'm not out running around and taking care of business, I had to shoot stuff with Revolt. I'm taking care of business with regard to my regular day-to-day corporate job. It's a huge bag on that. We got the content creation. We got the web development business. I'm going back and forth and I literally had a 2-hour meeting yesterday with all of the different contractors that we got for building a house. And so the way that I manage my calendar and my schedule is based off of what my capacity is, right? And so Friday, after I get done doing the Millionaire Morning Show, after I get done going over and taking care of some other business that I got to do, and then I'm going to shoot over to Valuetainment because I got to meet with them. Then I'm going to go out and party on a Friday night and then possibly catch a flight back home tomorrow afternoon, right? So we'll be able to mix it up just really on a Friday night because we out networking, we out taking care of business, and we making as much money as possible because we don't leave any bags on the table, right? So when people ask me a question of, hey, should I get a second job or should I DoorDash or should I start my own business? Both. You should do all of it. And so the DoorDash is an opportunity when you're not working that job or if you're not on a schedule or if you got some extra capacity or anything like that, right? And so the point is all money in. And the way that you start to build out how it is that you go about looking at things is, shout out to Rich, I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. The way that you go about doing it is that one of the reasons why I tell people it's very, very important for them to have a personal calendar. And most people only have they work calendar if they got like a corporate job. So they might have Microsoft Outlook or something like that, right? And then they just go by that calendar and that's the only way they go about doing things. And the reason why the company give you that calendar is to help you stay organized and on task so they can extract the most from you when you're at that particular job. So they know what your capacity is. They know when you got meetings. Then you can start to space out when you got to fit work into that. And if you don't, then you got to take it home. But why would you do that and then you don't actually do it for your own personal life? If it worked for you at the job in order for them to extract as much resource or to get the most out of you with regard to how it is that they can maximize the time that you at the job, right? Because they pay you a salary, they're exchanging your time for resources, and then they keeping you managed. And it's very, very important for them to do so. And they pay for that. They pay for that Microsoft Outlook calendar. They have a license for you and they managing your time correctly. Then why wouldn't you do it for yourself? Why do you not have a master calendar? And I talk about this and I actually show y'all in a video inside of the Patreon of how it is that I manage my time, right? My calendar is my Bible. And so I know that in this 24 hours out of the day, I got to get at least 6 hours of sleep. I prefer to get 7, but I got to get at least 6 hours of sleep, right? And so the other 18 hours, it's an opportunity for me to get the most out of the day, right? So let's just say, for example, you work your regular 8 hours on your regular job, right? And then you work an additional 4 hours on the other job. And let's say you got a half hour to an hour in between there for travel time. Then that means that you've only worked 12 and a half hours And I know people like, oh my God, 12 hours. We're spoiled Americans. So now you got the capacity of 3 to 4 additional hours in there. And what you gonna do with it? That's when you start to work on your business. That's when you make that extra money so that you can throw it on your credit cards, or you can start to invest in the things that make the most sense for you, right? That's your capacity to really get ahead of everybody else. When everybody else is asleep, when everybody else is playing video games, when they just over there shooting the shit and shooting the breeze. When I be on these panels, right? When I jump on Fight Club in the morning, I be working. I'm talking and working and multitasking at the same time. When I first started Fight Club, right, on the Anton Daniels channel, I started it because I wanted people to stay in the house and be more productive and not find themselves in trouble outside late at night. But the whole concept before it became Fight Club was, hey, work with me while I work late at night. Because if I'm going to be up, I might as well be extracting the most out of it. I'm not up just looking at the TV. I don't even watch TV. I'm not up just milling around and looking at, man, I'll be answering emails. I'll be having stuff scheduled, stuff be dropping while we own Fight Club and taking care of business and all of that other type of stuff. So my point is that if you're going to do it, then get the maximum from it. And that's everything. If I'm going to have sex, I'ma fuck you. I know that this is the Millionaire Morning Show. We early in the morning, and y'all don't want to talk about that. I'm watching that, Kojak. I'm about to go to that too. If I'm going to have sex, either I'm going to fuck you or I'm going to make love to you. Ain't no in between, right? If we going to do it, we going all of the way. If we going to do it, I'm getting in there. I want the most out of you. I want to extract everything from you. I want your fucking soul. If I'm going to work at this job, I'm going to get the most that I can out of it, right? I'm getting the 401k. I'm getting the match. I'm using all of the dental benefits. I'm getting everything that I possibly can out of that thing. If I'm going to do this content creation thing, I'm doing everything that I can to extract the most from it. I'm not just on some laissez-faire type of time. If I'm going to a party, I'm going to be dancing my face off and I'm going to have a great time, right? Everything that I do, I'm gonna be the most immersed in it. If I'm going to have some time to be able to get the extra bag, I'm getting all of the bags. The only thing that I ever wanted when I was younger, I never cared about women. I never cared about parties. I never cared about stunting. I didn't care about any of that shit. When I was young, ever since I can remember, since I was 11, 12 years old, the only thing that I ever wanted was to be rich. I'm being absolutely honest with you. My dream as a child was to be rich. I had a Lamborghini Countach and a Diablo on my wall. I used to dream of getting rich. That's all I could think about is, okay, so I was planning my life out before we ever had Google Calendars and all of that other type of stuff. I didn't care about nothing that these motherfuckers was doing. The minute that I was able to work, I was hustling, I was grinding, I was pushing, I was running that check up. And then I was like, all right, so now this is what life is supposed to be like. I never wanted to fucking be regular. I never wanted to just hang out with you niggas. I didn't just want to be chilling. When y'all see me pull up to the Patreon meetup, from the time that I walk in the door to the time that I leave out, I'm lit. I'm on it. I'm shaking hands. I'm partying. I want to have conversations with y'all. We be having a good time. We be throwing back drinks. I be standing on the bar giving speeches. If any of y'all ever been to a Patreon meetup, you know what it is. We get it in. I am on 10 100% of the time. When you see me on this live stream and I'm talking to y'all and I'm going back and forth, you know that I don't waste 1 minute, every single minute. I'll be up in the DJ booth having a good time, right? I want to meet you. I want to kick it with you. I want to hug y'all. I want to laugh. I want to cry. I want to figure out what it is that's going on. I want to know about your life. We be having a good time. Some of my friends may pull up. Charleston White pulled up to the last Dallas meetup. I want the most out of this shit. And so I break it down. It's a mathematical equation, right? The amount of money that I make per year divided by 8,760. It's that easy. You got a calculator on your phone. Use that motherfucker. 8,760 is the amount of hours in a year. You take how much you make per year. If you make $100,000 per year, then you divide it by 8,760. Your time is only worth $11.60 an hour or some crap like that. $11.60 an hour. That means when you're sleeping, when you're awake, whatever it is that you do, how much you make per year divided by 8,760, that's the value that you add into this lifetime. And so if you're spending it on a hoe, it's going to cost you $11.60 an hour. If you're hanging out with people that's for the streets, they're costing you $11.60 an hour. And so the thing that you got to figure out is it worth it for me to be sitting around with these people that ain't talking about shit? Or should I be trying to figure out how I can increase the value of my time? Now, conversely, and I broke this equation down for people. Now, how do Anton keep himself in a situation where he don't fall into it with these side chicks or these hoes for the streets and all of that, right? Because it's not entirely just based off of the fact that I love my wife. It's not entirely just based off of the fact that I have big discipline, right? It's also entirely based off of the idea that I don't think that these hoes is worth my time, right? When we do these coaching calls, I don't charge y'all what it is that I charge my corporate clients because I'm only charging y'all to add value into your life. I want to make myself as easily accessible as to most people as possible. So I only charge you based off of how much my time is worth, not much how much I charge a corporate client, right? And so when I start to look at these hoes for the streets, I'm like, yo, if I hang out with this chick, right? And let's say I'm with her for 3 hours. That hoe is going to probably cost me over $1,000 of my time. I'll never be able to get that time back. And her head probably ain't even going to be that good. So then for me, I'm like, why would I spend my time on this hoe? Because she ain't worth it. And why wouldn't I spend my time increasing the value of my time? You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to let anybody devalue what it is that I bring and how it is that I'm moving because she ain't worth it. She ain't got enough. Everybody, he got it for free, but it's supposed to cost me $1,000 of my time to be able to spend. So if his time, because he don't even make $100,000 a year, and I make well over $1 million a year, right? If his time is worth $50,000, that means that it costs him the equivalent of about $5.80 an hour to spend with that hoe. So it cost him about $16 to get the pussy, and it's gonna cost me a band to get the pussy of my time because my time is way more valuable than his, right? So why should it cost me a band and it cost him $16? I'm telling you, listen, my brain works crazy. My brain breaks everything back down to a mathematical equation. And if it took him 3 hours to hit it, and it took me 3 hours to hit it, and his time is only worth $5.80 an hour, and my time is worth $333 an hour, why would I ever spend more than he spent to get the same box after he done already had it? She ain't worth it to me. She just ain't worth it to me. Why should it cost me more to get box that's more devalued after he done already got it? Only thing I ever wanted to be when I was little was rich. Everything else came it had to fall up under that. When I was deciding whether or not I was going to have a kid, I was thinking to myself, now, how much is it going to cost me to have a child? And how much is it going to cost me to raise it? It was a mathematical equation that came along with having a child. It was a mathematical equation that came along with having that child. Everything come back to the money. When we say this Millionaire Morning Show shit, everything come back to the money. How much is it going to cost me to have this child? How much of my time is this chick going to spend? Even if she signed a non-disclosure agreement, even if she signed a consent agreement, how much is it going to cost me to really roll out with that chick? Fuck her. Fuck her. Leave that hoe for the streets and let her go back to whereth she cameth from. I know you asked me a simple question based off of the super chat, but I just had to break it down based off of how I see it. And so I'd rather have my Rolex than have you on my lap. Fuck you. I'd rather be telling time on this solid gold Rolex that's heavy as fuck than be sitting here having a conversation with you talking about what you ain't gonna do. If you don't get your mouthy black ass on out of my face, because I ain't got time for that shit. To the streeteth is where you cameth, and to the streeteth back you go. All right? So, for me, it's a very, very simple equation. All right? Let me read a few more super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and cook up on the show. Mike Jones is in the building. Says, your list can never be more wrong, Mike Jones. KRS-One is not a top 5 rapper, I don't even. Rakim is not a top 5 rapper. I'm not even sure that you can put Ice Cube. Listen, you got one in a possible, just like Spades. Your list of top 5 rappers is one in a possible. But that's all right. We're going to have a conversation tonight. Don't worry about it. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Shout out to Mike Jones. Rich is in the building. Shout out to Rich. Has Anton. Tomorrow's going to be my 1-year anniversary of being a bag chaser. Let's run it. My people love being chasers. 1-year anniversary running that bag up. Shout out to Rich. Hey, can we get a round of applause for his 1-year anniversary? Being a bag chaser is just under being saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. And this is my birthday of being saved. That's right up under there. Being saved and then being a bag chaser is 1A and 1B. You know what I'm saying? More important than your anniversary, your personal anniversary with your girl. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Rich. I appreciate you for rocking out with your boy. Shout out to J-Dub says, will the $49 level be for the Patreon be opening anytime soon? I don't know. You got to be a part of the bag chasers, and I'm going to make an announcement. You know what? I'm going to address that. I'm going to address that in the Patreon specifically. That's a good question, J-Dub. I'm going to send that out to the bag chasers. The Parlay Boys podcast is in the building. Says, I bet games 24/7 football, baseball, and soccer. Man, you somewhat of a G out here in these streets. I was watching my boy Jabata Mitch, the Madden guy, last night. That junk was incredibly entertaining. Shout out to Lady Chan in the building. Says, Cynthia G, hack karma is a wonderful thing, huh? I'm about to address that right now, right before we get over to the student loans, because I was waiting for that to fall too. Shout out to Lady Chan. I love you, Lady Chan. B-Love, what up, B-Love? Says, Anton, do you worship God or chase money? Just don't lose sight of that. Do your thing, but don't make money your idol. It's nothing wrong with money. Some of the richest men in the Bible were the most loved by God. Money is not a bad thing. The love of money is the root of all evil. And so don't let nobody conflate the idea that you're not supposed to be rich just because you love God. I love God and God loves me being rich. You know what I'm saying, B-Love? That's just a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to BC. Says, I watch your content too much. I'll be in the house talking about all that other type of stuff. I'll listen to myself and I'll be like, man, I got to change how much I say that type of thing, right? You are appreciated. You are the motivation. Shout out to BC. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me go over here and look at what's going on with Cynthia G. Raphael, I'm going to be reading that super chat in 1 second. Let me go over here and see what Cynthia G, because I heard that Cynthia G got hacked. Now, before we go over here and we see what was happening with Cynthia G, let me say this. I think that Cynthia G and the things that she says is disingenuous at best, right? Because I think that she really wants a black man. If I just had to give you my personal opinion, I think that she really wants a black man. I think she want a good black man. I don't know what she got going on. I don't know if she getting buzzed down. I don't know if she had that good BBC lately. But I think it's disingenuous at best. My opinion of Cynthia G personally is if she could find something to be able to do a live stream about on me specifically, because she's even mentioned some of my stuff and she's shown it or whatever, but she just had to have an opinion on the clip itself. But she goes in on men and she can't wait to find a black man that did something wrong, a passport brawl, whatever, and call him Dusty or any of this other type of stuff, right? Or a kitten in heels. She's been disrespectful to Kevin Samuels and all of that, right? And with all that being said, I would not advocate for her platform to be hacked. Because contrary to popular belief, I believe in competition. I don't want you to lose, by technical default. I don't want you to slip out of the ring and then break your foot and then the fight is over and then I win by mistake, right? I want to compete. I want to beat you. I want to destroy you. I don't think that your personal bag or your personal life should be affected as a result of your takes that I disagree with, right? I'm sure there's plenty of people that disagree with me, but I wouldn't want this to happen to me, right? And so just because I disagree with her or I don't stand with her, I think that there's rules of engagement when it comes to content creation. I think that there are rules of engagement when it comes to content creation. So I do want her to get her page back, right? Because let's be honest, like it takes a lot to be able to build a following. It takes a lot, and you got to have a. As much as I don't like her takes, I think that she could be talented when it comes to her ability to be able to create content. Content for me, absolutely not. But obviously, the people or these hyenas have found a nest for them to be able to get to their mama bird, and she's the mama bird in it. And I don't agree with it, but I think that for me to be able to have somebody to battle is worthy of it. Listen, I don't advocate for anybody to fuck up their money or mess up their bag. As much as I may like you, I will never dox you. I will never call out where you work at. I will never, try to find out where you live at. And I think that we need to be a little bit more careful of what happened on these YouTube streets, because that shit can happen what you got going on in real life. And I don't believe in that shit. And so we gotta be able to separate how we feel about the person and their content from how they're personally affected. But let me go over here and see what's happening over here in Cynthia G's world. Again, because I don't necessarily agree with it. Is this what they got going on out here in these streets? Oh, that's fucked up. To be able to build up 124,000 subscribers that's hard work. That's something to be accomplished. Oh, that's messed up, fam. That's messed up, bro. This is so messed up. I hope whoever did this is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Channel has been hacked. Message won't die. Hacker page. Dang, that's messed up. Somebody, look how crazy that is. I think you uploading to the wrong channel. Oh, these people are crazy. Nah, this is crazy, yo. This is crazy. No matter how much I don't necessarily care for somebody, let me see what this is. Look at her title. Look at the title of this video. Carlisha Hood and her son will not face charges for toe tagging Jeremy Brown. Oh, Jesus. This chick is wild. She is absolutely wild, bro. Listen, her stuff is well, I don't agree with it. Like, I don't agree with a lot of the things that she's saying. I don't agree with her stances. Um, but I don't advocate for anybody to be hacked. Like, I would never advocate for somebody to be hacked. So that's messed up. It's messed up that her stuff is that somebody would. Because I mean, come on, y'all, listen. The thing that we got to remember is that this shit is illegal. It's illegal. Like, no matter what you feel about her, the one thing that I don't advocate for is silencing everybody, because what if somebody don't necessarily like what it is that I say? Should people be celebrating if I get hacked or lose my stuff? Immediately when I heard about this, the first thing I went to is I said, yo, let me go ahead and add some extra security. Let me change my passwords. Let me update everything to make sure that my stuff don't happen like this. Because again, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the fact that she's got hacked. And I think that it's worse that she got hacked than what it is that she says, because I don't believe in that illegal shit. Right? I don't believe in messing up nobody's bag. I don't believe in messing up nobody's money. I don't believe in all of that hacking shit. And I know y'all like whatever, they could do whatever they want to do. Let me see. Videos. Why don't black men defend themselves against anyone but black women? She better start using these other channels or whatever. But again, I don't agree with people's channels getting hacked. I'm not a fan of that. So I do hope that she get her shit back up, because it is good to have differing opinions and different people. It is good to have a differing opinions and different perspectives in a space. As far as, people that may not necessarily feel, they may be on the polar opposite of you, but I'm never gonna advocate for somebody bag to get messed up. That's not cool. I don't believe that she swatted Tariq Nasheed. I don't believe that this is karma. The Bible say that it rains on the just and the unjust. So I just think that things happen to people. So I don't think that it's karma. I just think that it's just messed up. It's messed up that she got hacked. And people should have differing opinions. Why do y'all want to live in an echo chamber? That's the thing that I'm trying to understand. Why do y'all want to live in a space where the only opinion or the only thing that matters is what you think? What if what you think is wrong, right? They may think that we wrong over here, and we may think that they wrong over there, but I don't advocate for nobody to lose their bag or to lose their ability to be able to feed themselves or lose their platform or you lose their content creation. Like, that's messed up, man. Nah, y'all wild, man. I'm looking at some of the stuff that y'all saying in the chat. The Devil Queen has finally been taken down. Look, man, y'all don't want to compete like on some competition shit. Y'all don't want to beat somebody because you actually beat them. You don't want to beat them because you want a technicality. You want somebody to slip and fall. No, I want to beat your ass, and I want to absolutely just beat you straight up. I just think that it's rules of engagement. I think that there's rules of engagement. Um, agree with her, even though I don't rock with her, even though her content is not for me. I would never advocate for her. I would never. Y'all are okay. So listen, I see y'all saying that y'all want her to be taken down and all of this other type of stuff, and that there's no rules of engagement or whatever. All right, cool. Well, I don't want you. I don't want you whining, and I don't want y'all complaining when somebody come for y'all and somebody legally do some shit to you. If somebody docks you because they didn't agree with you, don't sit on here and come on here and complaining. If somebody call y'all job and say, yo, such and such, I found out that they work here and I want them to be fired, and they start saying it, don't come on here and complain. If somebody do something illegal to you, if somebody run up in your crib and mess up your fucking money or steal your car and you didn't have car insurance for one day and now the insurance company is don't come back for it, I don't want y'all sitting here complaining about it, because again, there's rules to engagement. It's lines that you just don't cross. I'm never advocating for nobody to get swatted, doxxed, for their platforms to get hacked. I just think that the people is gonna choose and let the chips fall where they may based off of competition. I don't understand how y'all can advocate for this shit. I don't understand it. Like, why do y'all want bad things to happen to people like that? Like, how come we can't just win and compete? Why we don't advocate for freedom of speech? I don't want nobody censoring me, so why would I want anybody censoring her? Because I feel like I'm better than her, and I feel like I can beat anybody. So why would I ever advocate against somebody being able to be successful when I can just outcompete them? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's rules to this shit. So I don't know. Honestly, I hope that she get her stuff back, because I would never advocate on somebody that I wouldn't want advocated for myself. And so I would never push on to somebody that I don't want on myself. I'm all about competition. So yeah, man. I hope she get her stuff back. That's unfortunate. But that's all I really have to say about it. Let me read a couple of these super chats and then we're going to get it popping. Raphael says, Coach going in. I love it. Bang, bang. Shout out to Raphael. I appreciate you. Cream. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Says, which one you choosing, lump sum or annuity? Shout out to Cream. I appreciate you. Self-Made Forever is in the building. Oh, no. Let me get it. Self-Made Forever says, I was the first person to bring up Cynthia G on the morning show, saying, Anton, she is going to come across your desk. Anton response at that time was, who cares? Shout out to Time Dog. Shout out to Self-Made Forever. I appreciate you, Big Dog, for supporting the platform. Eric the Dream Giver says, how to be a standout and be a hood. Shout out to Eric, the dream giver. I appreciate you in the building. Bilderberg boy is in the building. Says, I became a bag chaser a few months ago. I'm already doing well financially, but I know there's another level for me to get to. I have my mother, daughters, 24, 25, 4, and a son who is 12 tuning into the show. Shout out to Bilderberg boy. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog. Big Smooth is in the building, says, how does that affect the back end in terms of money collected from super chats? Is that compromised also? Well, I know she's not making no money based off of being able to do no live streams and no shows right now. So, it's just bad. It's a bad thing because I wouldn't want that to happen to me. And so I never advocate against somebody or do something against somebody that I wouldn't want done to myself. See, I'm okay with the reactions and going back and forth and the jousting and all of that, but I'm not okay with the hacking, so I don't agree with that shit. John Doe says, if the shoe was on the other foot, she would be celebrating. Shout out to you, Anton, for being a class act. You are a lion and hyenas are beneath you. I don't play by the same rules as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? How it is that I see things and how it is that I go about doing things is completely different from what everybody else is going to go about doing. Nah, because I gotta go to the place. I don't want nothing. Thank you, I appreciate it. Shout out to John Doe. My dog Jay Ben is in the building. Shout out to you. Says hackers working OT. My Yahoo and Facebook got hacked. Recover my email, but Facebook, on the other hand, is lost in the metaverse. 16 years worth of memories and thousands of potential side business gone. Patreon is good though. Yeah, don't let them hack your Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay Ben. My dog Chris says, I get bored of echo chambers as well. I hate that this happened to her. However, the energy you put out there is the energy you get back. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in karma. I don't. I think that what you do on this earth is just what you do on this earth. I don't think that it's necessarily, oh man, you did something bad to that person, so something bad gonna happen to you. Nope. I see some people go their whole lives and certain things never happen to them, even though they be out here fucking up the bag. I don't believe in that. So nope, I don't believe in karma in the way that y'all believe in it. Let me see this. Let me look up these student loans. Student loans, breaking news. Supreme Court strike down Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. Let me pull this up. We need to check this out, y'all. Before we go over to anything else, let's check this out. I'm about to try to get this up on the screen. Apparently, they struck down the student loan forgiveness plan. Hold on. I'm working overtime really quickly. Let me see if I can get this up and popping, y'all. Give me a second. I told y'all. I absolutely positively told y'all. I warned y'all that this was gonna happen. Hold on. Let me double back. I got you. I warned y'all. Y'all was banking on Biden to give y'all student loan forgiveness. And now look at you. Dusty as fuck out here in these streets. Y'all was waiting on Biden to give y'all student loan forgiveness. Yep, you was waiting on Biden to give you student loan forgiveness. And now you dusty. All right, let me see if I can get this popping. Let's go studio capture. Go
One, we don't have a corollary on the federal level, so we rely on those state laws. The other is that if you want to walk into a store and you want a wedding website, or you want somebody to photograph your wedding, or you want a cake, that people will not say no because you are a certain race, a certain religion, or a certain sexual
I don't know
orientation.
what this got to do with anything.
Major, before we wrap up this discussion, and I know we've spoken about this throughout the term of the court, but I think as we look to the last day of the court's term, it does strike me that there has been
Let's see if we can find it.
And defended his state's anti-discrimination law against LGBTQ people, but people on the basis of any protected class, called this a deeply concerning opinion, far out of step with the American people. 6-3, Justice Neil Gorsuch writing that any business that engages in expressive, customized, and tailored conduct, so anybody from a speechwriter to an artist to a web designer,
to get married in America, then we should be able to get every service that anybody else who gets married
in a way that will have significant impacts legally.
Terry, the language here sounds pretty broad. So is there any line set for which businesses this might apply to and which clientele?
Yo, shout out to the Supreme Court, yo.
There's some very vague boundaries are set, as you and Devin have pointed out. If a business owner is engaged in an expressive business, or a business that has expression as part of its sales, and that expression is customized and tailored to the individual customer, the business cannot be forced to provide the service that it provides, or the goods or service, if it disagrees with the expressive content of that sale. The way that Justice Gorsuch puts it in the opinion of the court, Colorado seeks to force an individual to speak in ways that align with its views but defy her conscience about a matter of national significance. As this court has long held, however, the opportunity to think for ourselves and express those thoughts freely is among our most cherished liberties. So it is a freedom of speech case. The distinction that Baker brought it as a freedom of religion case, a freedom of conscience case. I can't in good conscience endorse this marriage. This is much broader. This is someone, doesn't have to be a religious opinion. It could be, as Justice Sotomayor suggests, at least as far as I can see, there's no limiting principle in this opinion, for someone with racist views to say, I don't want to serve an interracial couple, if what their business does can be defined as expressive. And that opens that host of questions. Is it Taylor expressive? Is it Baker? We're going to find out.
So, okay, two things. The first thing that I'm looking at here is that the Supreme Court, in my opinion, and this is a good thing, is saying that you can refuse some services from other people if you disagree with where it is that they stand, and you do not have to serve, or you do not have to render services to them, and you have the right to refuse services, as you should as a business owner, and you should not be forced in any way, shape, or form to do something that's outside of what it is that you agree with. You cannot be bullied as a business owner to do something that you do not agree with. This is what it is that I'm reading right now, and I agree with that. I do not think that people should be forced. You can't bully me. You can't start to leverage what it is that you see happening within the society and the Rome rules or mob rules and what happens in Rome, all of this other type of stuff. And you cannot be out here forcing other people that do not necessarily agree with what it is that you stand for, your lifestyle. If you're a baker and you want to put pride on a cake, or they want you to put pride on a cake, but you don't stand for that shit, you should not have to do anything to anybody, especially if you are not preventing them from being able to live their life. You do not owe anybody. Shout out to the Supreme Court out here killing this shit. Let me see what else is happening out here. Let me see. Hold on. Let me refresh. Look at all of them people gathering outside. Hold on, let me see if I can find out what's going on out here. Some more was happening.
Showing everyone that you know a great deal about the law. Now, who's the loser in that situation? It's the American public, because these are 9 people who have enormous power. They have lifetime appointments. They cannot be forced off the bench except for impeachment, which is exceedingly rare. And so we lose the ability to have a conversation with them before we empower them to make decisions.
I'm going to switch over really quickly to something. Hopefully that can give y'all a little bit more insight on what's going on. So this is according to the Los Angeles Times. All right. It's saying that the Supreme Court struck down Biden's plan to forgive millions of student loans. And y'all was out here, swore that y'all was going to listen. You told me that I was wrong, and I was absolutely right. You told me that I was wrong, and I was absolutely right. Some of y'all was out here saying, Anton, Biden is going to forgive our student loans. I'm holding out. A lot of y'all didn't pay it off. Y'all did not want to go out there and take care of business. You thought that you was going to vote a certain type of way because Biden was going to forgive your student loans, and I warned you. I warned you. I told you. I'm right. I'm always fucking right. I'm always right. I told you that the Supreme Court, or not the Supreme Court, I told you was still going to have to pay them student loans. But let's deep dive into it a little bit. Let's go down. It says, Supreme Court on Friday rejected President Biden's plan to forgive millions of student loans, ruling the nation's chief executive did not have the legal authority to waive more than $400 billion owed to the government. Pay your share. Pay your share. So now those of us that ain't worried about no student loans because we were responsible, we went to community college. Yes, I am a community college guy. We hustled, we worked. Because how can you justify forgiving student loans because of an election pledge? How you going to be sitting here fucking up the money for the federal government? And it's not fair. It's not going to be fair for the people that come after it because they're going to be like, well, y'all had a leg up on us. It's a system that's built against us the same way that y'all talking about this whole white supremacy shit when y'all trying to justify reparations and everything like that. How you going to sit here? Come on, let's talk about it. How you going to sit here and think that this makes sense and then y'all sat there and y'all voted for this man based off of the fact that you thought that you was going to get a leg up. You thought that you was going to get a handout. You thought that you was going to get a handout. So now I knew the Supreme Court was going to do this. Because they're fair. And they're just. And they're logical. Biden administration had asserted its right to cancel the loans as a part of its emergency response to C-19. Well, we're not in C-19 no more. That's A. Let's see. And under the 2003 law called the HEROES Act, passed at the time of the Iraq War, by a 6-3 vote in Biden versus Nebraska, the court conservatives said that only Congress could authorize such a large-scale cancellation of the government-provided loans, and it had not done so. Let me break it down for y'all. Let me give you a little bit of insight. One of the reasons why we have all of these legislative branches is so that you don't operate under a dictatorship. And the beauty of America, even though the system is not perfect, even though the system is flawed, is that there's checks and balances in place so that we're not operating like we Russia. So we're not operating like we in China, right? And so because we have different legislative branches that then are able to, it's supposed to put checks and balances, and they're also supposed to be operating in a way in which they can vote or they can advocate on the best interests of the people that they represent, their constituents, and they're, the people that voted them into office. Because Congress didn't do this, you can't have somebody that's in here and you got all of these Bidens and stuff like this. And this is why y'all have to start participating in your local elections instead of just participating in the national election, because he was never going to be able to forgive your student loans in the first place. And so now the Supreme Court came, and this is another thing, right? Another reason why it's important, and even a Ketanji Brown, I think her name was Ketanji Brown, and she's recently been nominated into the Supreme Court on behalf of Biden. This is another reason why it's important for y'all to actually participate in your election, because a lot of y'all say, well, my vote don't count. Okay, well, first, you do need to participate in your local election. The second thing that you need to take into consideration is that the person that is nominated and the person that winds up becoming the president is often at times the person that's also going to pick the person that becomes a part of the Supreme Court that then can rule for or against the things that you thought that you was going to get a handout for in the first place. So shout out to the conservatives. When there's a Supreme Court justice that steps down, then the president participates in nominating or making a recommendation of who then is a part of the Supreme Court going forward. So now you have these people that we need to move more conservatively that speaks to the issues that happens in America, such as the fact that no, you cannot. It's a web designer that refused to do work for a alphabet community couple, right? And they did not want to do that work for that alphabet community couple because they didn't agree with what it was that they was asking them to do. And so you're not going to bully me into doing it. And the Supreme Court ruled correctly on that. And then they also ruled correctly on the fact that pay your shit. You took out the loans, you got educated, you benefited as a result of it. Women are the most enrolled, but the most getting these basket weaving degrees. You should have never enrolled in that program in the first place. And no, we're not forgetting your we're not going to forgive your student loans. Y'all got finessed into voting for this man, and he never had the authority to be able to do this in the first place. But it says, writing for the majority, Chief Justice John Roberts said the HEROES Act allows the secretary to waive or modify existing statutory or regulatory provisions applicable to financial assistance programs under the Education Act. But it does not allow the secretary to rewrite the statute to the extent of canceling $430 billion in student loans principal. Nah, pay your shit. You're not just going to finesse us and change the laws and be able to do what you want to do. In dissent, Justice Alina Keegan, I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly, wrote, in every respect, the court today exceeds its proper, limited role in our nation's governance. The result here is that the court substitutes itself for Congress and the executive branch in making national policy about student loan forgiveness. The heavy burden of student loans has become a major issue for Democrats. That's because they know that they promised y'all something that they wasn't going to be able to deliver in the first place. As a candidate in 2020, Biden promised to forgive up to $10,000 in student loans for many young borrowers, but he did not seek legislation from Congress when it was under Democratic control. Last year, with the end of the pandemic in sight, he joined Education Secretary Miguel Cardona to announce the government, as a part of its C-19 response, would forgive $10,000 of most outstanding student loans and up to $20,000 for those from those who came from low-income families. About 26 million borrowers applied for the relief. Y'all went over to that website and applied for the relief, and they're not giving it to you. Pay your shit. But the policy's legal status remained in doubt. The 2003 HEROES Act said the Education Department could waive or modify any provision of the government-funded student loans for any borrower affected a war or other military operation or a national emergency. Lawmakers said that their aim was to extend temporary relief to those who were called up to serve in Iraq and to make sure that they were not in a worse position financially because of their service. It was supposed to be meant for service members. It was supposed to be meant for people that fought for our country. And then they used this HEROES Act that they voted on and then they enacted in order to then try to justify an emergency situation and saying, well, C-19 is an emergency. So now we can justify and pledge that we're going to get all of these student loans forgiven, when in reality, it was never meant for you in the first place. And so they finessed something that they was never supposed to have enacted in the first place, because it's supposed to be for the people that serve their country and put their lives on the line for our freedom. It's never supposed to be meant for you because you chose to go in the basket weaving degree. In March 2020, President Trump declared a national emergency in response to C-19, and his administration suspended the required payments and the accrued interest on outstanding student loans. The suspensions have remained in effect and have cost the government more than $100 billion. There's your reparations. You should have paid off your shit. Deciding to go further, always somebody that just pushed the envelope. Biden said the cost of higher education has skyrocketed and left many students with crushing debts. And the White House said its plan to forgive some or all of millions of loans will provide more breathing room to America's working families as they continue to recover from the strains associated with the C-19 pandemic. But attorneys for Nebraska and 5 other Republican-led states sued and argued that the president was unlawfully invoking the C-19 pandemic to assert power beyond anything Congress could have conceived. That was never meant for you in the first place. In defense of the plan, the administration's lawyers said Congress had indeed authorized the Education Department to waive or modify any provision of the student aid programs. They also argued the states had no standing to sue because they were not harmed by the president's decision to forgive loans. Cap. But the federal appeals court in St. Louis sided with the Republican-led states and blocked the loan cancellation program from taking effect. In December, the Supreme Court refused to lift that order and agreed to hear the administration's appeal in late February. Led by Roberts, the court's conservatives said they were highly skeptical of the notion that the 2003 law or the pandemic gave the administration authority to wipe away millions of loans. And so, as a result, now y'all out here looking dumb. You know, I was a kid that was in class that was never afraid to be able to stand up and read in front of the class. I didn't raise my hand first, but whenever he called me, I was out there reading my ass off. Whenever the teacher called me in class in school and he said, Anton, it's your turn to read in front of the classroom, I never had any. I was a C student. I am a lifetime C student, but I can read and I can do math. I can do arithmetic, and I can also break down exactly what I'm reading from a C student's perspective. And the reality is that I'm also able to see the writing on the wall, and that y'all really thought you had all these black women, and that's the way in which they finessed y'all to vote somebody in office. And now you got inflation fucking out of control. You got the recession on the horizon. You can't afford to pay your rent. You can't afford to pay for your car note. Repossessions is up all the way across the board. Chat GBT about to eliminate your job. And you thought that you was going to get some student loan forgiveness. And the reality is that you got your ass kicked. And so you need to do the thing that's in your best interest. Make sure you join the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And I'm going to show you how you can really get rid of your student loans instead of waiting for daddy. You know, daddy's home. Instead of waiting for daddy to go over there and forgive your student loans. It ain't happening. It ain't going to work for you. It's plenty of ways for you to be able to do it. You can work for the government for 10 years, right? You can pay your shit. You can go to community college. You can get a job. You can actually go into a field that allows for you to make enough money to be able to pay your stuff back. You can stop slutting it out. You can stop taking out credit cards and student loans in college and partying up and then thinking that somebody is supposed to come back and then pay their taxes so that you can steal money from the government in order to forgive your shit. No. Shout out to the Supreme Court. Shout out to them for doing the thing that's in the best interest of the people and the American people. And take ownership and responsibility of what it is that you got going on in these streets. This is what I was waiting on. I was actually paying attention to this and I was waiting on it. Yep. So, student loans kick back in late August, early September. I hope all of that money that you said that you were saving, you didn't go out there and buy a Charger or a Challenger or a Hellcat. Y'all not out here parking y'all Escalade on y'all lawns. And you ready to send that money on over to the federal government. Shout out to the federal government for collecting on their bills. The Piper. It's time to pay the Piper. Let's continue. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to continue on with the show. Time Out is in the building. She says things for views. Why hack her? These spaces are a very small sector of society. Most black people don't even know these spaces exist. I agree. There's no need in hacking Cynthia G. Let her get her rocks off and then we're going to react to it. Jay Tay is in the building. Says, Anton, did you know ESPN fired Jeff Van Gundy with the massive layoffs? I did not. But we're going to be covering it on a sports show starting at the beginning of July. Sports show coming. I don't even want to say the name of it, but we already done put it together. It's dope. Frank Harris is in the building. Says, they said, hell no, you paying the government back. Carry on and let's go in time. Bag Chasers Unite. We up 1,000. Marcus X is in the building. Says, what tangibles does any party have for Black America? There is no Black America. It's a class war, not a race war. There is no Black America. Don't reduce yourself down to a color. It's a class war, not a race war. I'm telling you this. Shout out to my dog Cliff in the building. Says, Uncle Daddy Biden let y'all down, huh? Oh, no, Biden was fighting a hard fight in order to get that stuff forgiven. But thank God that we have checks and balances in the United States to prevent this evil from playing out here in our lives. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Chicago. It's your turn, Chicago. Guess what's happening in Chicago right now? Chicago is that cousin that keep getting out of jail and then going back to jail. You know who he is. He the one black sheep of the family. I vote, shout out to my Chicagoans, including Aaron. I vote that we name Chicago the worst, not even just Chicago, the Chicago area, all of the areas around Chicago too. I vote that we name Chicago the worst ran city in America for the last 5, 6, 7 years. At least the last 5, 6, 7 years. I vote that Chicago be placed, that we need to run Chicago like Snake Plissken. Have you ever watched the movies Escape from New York or Escape from LA? Actually, very good movies because it reminds me of what's going on in Chicago. We need to cordon it off, lock them in, let them self-govern, and any criminal, we need to just fly them over into the Chicago like Snake Plissken and drop them in that bitch. Don't worry about it. We're going to get to it. Chicago, it's your turn, baby girl.
Last night, the city saw its latest teen takeover, this time in Lakeview.
Yeah, a mob of teens filled the streets, climbing onto cars, damaging the vehicles and businesses in the neighborhood. WGN's Kelly Davis has more.
People tell me hundreds of teens poured off the L here at the Belmont Red Line stop. They swarmed the streets and caused chaos throughout the neighborhood.
Look at that. Look at that. And guess what? Hold on, wait. Check this out. So if you look very closely, you can see twerking, a girl behind a girl twerking. I see nothing but black people. Why are you laughing, Rita? Look at this girl, the girl in the white with the girl in the black that's standing right behind her, twerking. Twerking. I see you, Mr. Maximus. I'm going to read that shortly. This is disrespectful to the American people. So the teens took public transportation. They all got off at the same place. Could you imagine getting on a bus with these motherfuckers? They out here ruining a Lakeview neighborhood that they don't live there. They not residents of there. And they out here. Whose kids are these? You know who the parents is doing? You know what the parents is doing? Single baby mamas. Looking for them a Boyce Watkins or Umar Johnson to come in and take over and then be a step baby daddy. You would never know single baby mama.
That's how I was raised by one.
Yeah, but Tondog came in and said, not again. Look at this shit. This picture right here will be the cover photo of this clip. I'm clipping this up. This is going to be the cover photo of the clip. Shout out to Brandon Johnson in the building.
This is the scene that unfolded just
Look at the chick twerking, Rita. Dog, I got to rewind it right here. Hold on. I got to rewind it. No, I got to rewind it. Check out this chick twerking.
The neighborhood. This is the scene that unfolded just after 10 o'clock last night.
Lord. Our culture is absolutely over. Black culture is quite possibly the worst thing that's ever happened in the United States of America. The minute that they freed the slaves, they should have shipped them right on back to where they came from. They would have been better off. I would have rather them give reparations to the parents of these children and ship them right on back to Africa where they came from. Listen, we're going to give y'all some money and we're going to send y'all back. God bless you. Good night. For the black people that want to stay here, I'm assuming that y'all going to agree to go about being law-abiding citizens and we're going to fix the problems that happened before us. For the rest of y'all, I'm going to go ahead and give you a plane ride back because if this is the thing that we got to deal with over in Chicago, this is bad. This is bad. This is messed up. This is absolutely egregious.
Hundreds of teens took
Look at them on the cars.
Shutting down Belmont for hours.
Look at the cops.
There was no celebration yesterday. It was just pure chaos.
Roddy Hashish is the...
Maybe this is a post-Juneteenth celebration. Hey, the cops is like, hey, you see that one over there? Hey, that one is crazy. They standing on people's cars. I hope they got good car insurance. I don't think the cops should do anything. They wanted to defund the police. Let Black Lives Matter go out there and police what's going on out here in these streets. No, this is what y'all want. This is the post-Juneteenth celebration. Let them do what they want to do.
The manager of the Slice Shop, the restaurant just steps from the Belmont Red Line stop, was surrounded. He shared this video he took from inside the store of teens dancing on cars and drinking in the streets.
Right away, we decided to close both the store and the restaurant, and we stayed all night watching, making sure nobody broke in or nobody vandalized our business.
They had to be prisoners in their own business. Couldn't operate. Good tax-paying businesses can't serve their customers. They had to just close the doors, and they wouldn't even go outside because they don't want to get brutalized and attacked by these monkeys that's standing on top of the cars. That's sad. That is sad.
CPD officers worked to control the crowd and move them out of the area, but the teens left behind a path of destruction. People were horrified by the extent of the damage this morning. Shoe prints on cars, hoods dented, windshields broken.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
Grace Rowan said she even heard gunshots and was too scared to leave her apartment.
Look at all of that twerking. Heard gunshots, too scared to leave the apartment. They are literally a gang. This is a gang. This is terrorist activity. They should have rolled in there. Nope, actually don't. I was about to say they need to roll out the military. I don't want our service members getting harmed as a result of dealing with these hyenas. And you know what the worst part about it is going to be? Is that somewhere, someday, these chicks is going to grow up and they're going to want to jump on the internet. One of them going to start a YouTube channel. They're going to get some traction and they're going to be talking about how black men don't want to be responsible for what happens in our communities. They're going to hit the Cash App for Umar Johnson. They're going to send their kids to the FD, BMG, ABCD, EFG School of Agriculture and to grow some plants. And these are going to be, this is the future of our communities. All of this twerking, all of this stuff that's going on in the street, this is the future of what it is that we got to deal with in America. I bet you Cynthia G, when she get her channel back, she's not going to address this. Okay, let's continue.
It has been very chaotic, and as somebody who's lived in Lakeview for honestly the past 3 years, it's very scary to see how.
Hey, Grace, get on up out of there, Grace. Grace, I would move immediately. I would, whatever the cost is to move, I would go to I'm going to Boise. Boise, it's beautiful in Boise, Idaho. You ain't got none of this shit happening over there. In Boise, Idaho, it is gorgeous. They have great healthcare systems. They have a stable economy. They have a growing, robust job market. They have responsible adults. They have good schools. I would be moving over to Boise, Idaho if I was Grace. Get the hell up out of there. Get the hell up out of there, Grace.
Things have changed over time.
People are hoping the city steps up to prevent this from happening again.
Look at this shit.
Bennett Lawson.
Hold on.
Things have changed over time.
People are hoping the city steps up to prevent.
It's all women. Wigs, women, hoes, twerking. Oh no, that looked like a grown man up there with them green shoes up there. Hold on. Is that a grown man up there?
People are hoping the city steps up to prevent this from happening again.
Jesus fucking Christ. On somebody else's car, you got young girls and confused boys up there. Young girls and confused boys up there. Standing on other people's cars, dancing, twerking, ruining the property values and tearing other people's stuff up. And guess what? They're going to blame it on you. They're going to blame it on black men, and they're going to blame it on white society. The fact that y'all should not even created a good public transportation system for them to even make it out there in the first place. And you know what the worst part about it is? Ain't nothing you can do about it. Because if you go out there and you hold one of them accountable, you going to be the one that's in trouble. This is horrible. This is horrific. This is absolutely, positively horrific.
To prevent this from happening again. Alderman Bennett Lawson helped with cleanup this morning. He released a statement saying, quote, "I will be meeting with the 19th District Police, CTA, and others to discuss what took place and identify ways we can prevent it from occurring moving forward, as well as continue conversations with my colleagues on City Council about how we can keep our youth from participating in these disruptive actions."
We all simply love Lakeview, and to see.
Look at that. Look at this. They standing on somebody else's car. They are on somebody else's cars, destroying everything that's out there. It's wigs, wicks, and zestiness out there.
Others coming in and not respecting.
Look at all of them wigs. Wigs, eyelashes, future BBL holders. Oh, God. And future baby mamas, if they not already pregnant. Wigs, eyelashes. Yo, I would absolutely wring the neck of my daughter if I ever caught her out here hanging out there with them. Look, bro, I am vigilant. My daughter can't go to no parties like that. She can't go to no events like that. She can't participate. Not under my watch. No, absolutely not. You telling me these is Yo, my daughter is in high school. You telling me that these teenagers is just out here at night tearing up other people's stuff and their parents don't know where they at? And they shooting guns and stuff like that?
Community the same way that you do is really upsetting.
Chicago police arrested 2 people, including a 15-year-old girl. She has been charged with aggravated assault of a first responder, resisting and obstructing traffic. Reporting from Lakeview, I'm Kelly.
So, this is the future baby mama that y'all are raising y'all sons to have to deal with. This is the future baby mother that y'all are raising y'all sons to have to deal with. This is what y'all got to rock out with. This is what we rolling with. Chicago is quite possibly the worst ran city in America. And Chicago is just a reflection of what it is that we seeing happening all across the board. But get mad at me for holding them accountable. Let me read a couple super chats and then we going to move on. Because I don't want y'all to say Anton keep hitting on all of the worst things in society. It's your kids out there. Maximus says, big time, did you hear about the strippers who got robbed of the $10K they made from the BET Awards weekend? Also, I agree about Chicago. DC is worse. Is DC worse? No, not DC. Not DC. I know they got the DMV area out there. It can't be DC. DC can't be that bad. It can't be worse than Chicago. Impossible. Only place I know that could possibly rival what's going on in Chicago is Philadelphia. That's it. Unlimited Cam is in the building. Says, hey, Anton, I sent you an email yesterday about inquiring about your new channel. I'm not sure if you're still taping applications or not. Bag chasers. Yeah, I'm still. We gonna figure it out as we go, Cam. I think I got your email, so I got you, big dog. I'm rolling with you. Thank you for the super chat. Tasha is in the building. We got to give her the applause. Greatest person asset. Also, one of the recipients of patronage in the Patreon, gave a great business pitch, help fund her business. Says teens are also rioting in France right now. I heard about that too. Kids need to be kept busy with productive activities every single summer. I'm gonna cover France on Monday. Timeout said, but Anton, Dr. Umar said it's black man's fault. Dr. Umar will never say that he was wrong. I don't think that Dr. Umar would ever come out and admit that he was wrong. But neither here nor there. I want to share with y'all one more thing before we get up out of here. Because I do have to head over into a meeting. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to talk about. Hold on. There we go. BlackRock. How many of y'all have ever heard of BlackRock? How many of y'all have ever heard of BlackRock? BlackRock, they say, controls the world. You probably even heard of it before, but you just overlooked it or you didn't really think much about it because it's just the name. And it's largely believed that they try to stay or they try to keep their name out of the media as much as possible. But they say that BlackRock is largely the organization that controls most of what happens throughout the world. I'm going to share with a video. I'm going to share a couple different videos. The first video that I'm going to share with you is somewhat of an introductory video to help you to understand who BlackRock is. And then the second video I'm going to share with you is a recruiter that got exposed telling the secrets of how the organization works. Shout out to Mrs. Crotty Shetty in the building. I'm going to be reading these super chats shortly. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it.
BlackRock is a financial giant. It's the largest investor on planet Earth with over $9 trillion in assets. That's a pile of cash equal to about 1/10 of a year's global economic activity.
9.5, not billion. $9.5 trillion under management. Meaning that they are managing pensions, they are managing large hedge fund investments, they are managing assets, and when you have that amount of money, you control everything. You control lobbying, you control what happens in the Senate, you control what laws get passed, you control what's happening in the real estate market, you control what's happening with food, you control what's happening with distribution. And so when you have a lot of these people having conversations about what's going on in society and what's going on in America, they're so focused on the wrong thing because they're more focused on the federal government, but they're not focused on who's controlling the federal government, right? But let me continue to give you a little bit of insight of who BlackRock is, right?
That means the money managers at BlackRock have a big say in how the world runs. Here's CEO Larry Fink talking to CNBC in 2021.
And I've been on your show now probably 4 times every year at the very least for 22 years as a public company and even longer.
No trendy locks. BlackRock is not losing money. They never lose money, okay?
When we were private, talking about retirement.
BlackRock is indeed influential. In the US, it owns at least 5% of most major companies.
It owns at least, not limited to, but at least 5% of most major companies, which means that they all got seats on the board. And more importantly, they have an interest in what happens with these companies and whether or not they're profitable. But let's continue.
That gives the firm lots of voting power to determine how public businesses operate.
A lot of people don't understand what publicly traded companies and how they operate are like, right? So I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight, right? And this is one of the things that we break down inside of the Patreon when we talking about the companies that you're looking to invest in and the things that you need to look for, or the 8 things that you need to do in order to invest in a company to vet whether or not it's something that you should put your money into, right? And so the way that these companies work is that publicly traded companies, right, have a vested interest in doing the thing that's in the best interest of the shareholders. What's up, baby? Do I have it? Publicly traded companies have a vested interest in not doing the thing that's in the best interest of the public, but doing the best interest of the thing that are the shareholders. Now, let's say, for example, you have a shareholder or a company that owns 5 to 10% of your business, right? And let's say that business is worth, I don't know, $1 billion, right? So if that business is worth $1 billion, in which they control $9.5 trillion in assets, right? So that's just a small piece of the pie. But let's say they got a company and it's worth $1 billion and they have a vested interest in seeing that company successful. Well, that means that if they own 10% of that company, then they own $100 million worth of assets in that company. And so now you get a seat on the board, which means that seat on the board is also directing where it is or what direction that company is going. And then a lot of people are so focused on the CEOs. The CEOs are appointed by the shareholders and the board. The board are the ones that have the most interest in seeing the company be successful. The company is going to go right, whether they're going to add more money into the economy by owning more assets, whether they're going to go and do this, whether they're going to do that. The CEO is basically the one that's executing on the vision of the shareholders, who are largely being controlled by the board, right? The board is the determining factor for whether or not the CEO is even hired or fired in the first place. So a lot of people are always focused on Tim Cook, right? Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos. Well, Jeff Bezos' power has nothing to do with him being the CEO of the company or when he was the CEO of the company. It has everything to do with the fact that he's a chairman, or he still has a significant portion of the assets that then determine the direction of the company. He's going to determine who's the CEO going to be to replace him, right? When we're talking about Ford Motor Company, One of the things that Ford did was they structured their company to where their voting power still remains with the Ford family. So even though it's a publicly traded company, they still control 51% of the voting shares, which means that they're the determining factor for whatever happens within that company. So if you believe in Ford Motor Company, essentially you have to believe in the vision of the Ford family, right? And BlackRock is more powerful, allegedly, than any other asset manager or company on the face of this fucking earth. Because when you control 9.5 trillion, which is bigger than a 2 to 3 trillion. Listen, 9.5 trillion in assets is bigger than Microsoft and Apple combined. Think about that shit for a minute. You're bigger than Apple, Microsoft, and Google combined in asset management. If the valuation of a country is of a company is worth $1 trillion or $2 trillion, they're bigger than all three of those companies. They're more influential. They have more assets under management than all three of those companies combined. Think about that shit for a minute and put it in perspective. More powerful than a country. Can control your military. Can determine what's going to happen in presidential elections. Are forming super PACs and have lobbyists that lobby on behalf of these companies, right? Let me play a little bit more, and then we're gonna deep dive into this whistleblower. This he's not even a whistleblower. He was a person that admitted what was happening within the company and didn't know it. And you know how they got him to admit it? A woman, a hoe, a woman finessed this dude into talking too much on camera. But we're gonna get to it.
BlackRock rose to the top of the financial system in a short span of time. After its IPO in 1999, its stock has increased 7,539% through December.
7,500. Whenever you have a stock, an IPO, an initial public offering, and the value of that company is increased more than 7,600%, that's insane. 7,600%.
December 2020. Along the way, the company used technology to minimize the risks of investing.
BlackRock, as well as the other ETF providers.
Thank you for the super chats. I'm going to be reading these shortly.
Have done a great job in bringing a product to investors that provides diversification in investment portfolios at a relatively inexpensive price. And I think there's good reasons for them having grown to scale.
According to BlackRock, risk management today means adapting to the changing climate.
The largest oil and gas producers and the largest carbon emitters are state-controlled enterprises.
Their leadership has the sway to push global institutions into action.
BlackRock's relationship with the Fed is a really useful thing for the public to know about. The central bank can do things to make our lives better, and it can do stuff to make some people really rich.
Here's how BlackRock shot to the top of the financial industry.
Now that's irrelevant, right? We don't really care about that. If y'all want to go over and watch the rest of this video, then go over to CNBC and look up the video that's called How BlackRock Became the Largest Asset Manager, and you can learn more about this company. I encourage you to do so, because the more informed you are of what's happening within our society, the less you're going to start to continue to have these conversations that's stupid, talking about how the system is set up against you. No, it's a wealth war. It's a war that controls what happens within our legislative branches, our food, our neighborhoods, on a local scale, what's happening within your community colleges, oil, climate change, wars, everything that's happening all across the world is controlled by people that control the resources, right? And you don't even know who they are. And this is why you keep having these dumb conversations, because it keeps you distracted from what's really happening out here in the society. So I encourage you to go out and watch this video. But I'm not going to play that video right now. I want to deep dive into something completely different, right? And the thing that I want to deep dive into, and I want to play this video really quickly for y'all, I even contemplated, I'm going to be honest with y'all, very few things that puts a little bit of a, I'm not going to say fear, but put a pause on some of the things that I present or some of the things that I want to talk about publicly. And to even have a conversation about this is one of them. It is one of them. Even when I tried to source this next video that I'm about to show y'all, it wouldn't even let me pull it up at first. I had to do a little bit of deep diving in order to get this video and then see what's happening. But I'm going to play this video for y'all really quickly, and then I want y'all to give me y'all thoughts, or I want y'all to actually start paying attention to what's happening, and you let me know whether or not this makes sense.
They don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it.
So this recruiter's name for BlackRock, his name is Serge Varley. Serge Varley, right? And this was recorded literally less than 11 days ago. He's talking to a woman, and the woman is wearing an undercover camera, and she's extracting all kinds of information from this motherfucker. So he's sitting thinking that she actually is interested. Let this be a lesson for y'all. There's more than one lesson in this conversation, right? She's sitting, he thinking that she's actually interested in his conversation. And this is how I keep telling y'all, if you ever want to see the fall of a man, the fall of a company, the fall of Rome, the fall of your household, all you got to do is send a woman. Women are always going to be at the forefront of a downfall of any man or any situation. Motherfuckers is out here running their mouth like chatty patties, telling all of the company secrets. If I ever want to get you set up, I promise you I won't be at your doorstep. It's going to be the woman that you love the most. If I ever wanted to get you set up, which I feel comfortable saying this because I would never, ever set you up. I want everybody to win. I want everybody to be successful. Why would I ever fumble my bag? If I ever want to get you set up, all I got to do is get a woman out there in front of you and you're going to run your fucking mouth because you think that she like you when in reality she's setting you the fuck up. Let's continue.
All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians. You can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. I work for a company called BlackRock.
Meet Serge Varley, a recruiter at BlackRock.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet.
He's telling you, he works at BlackRock. This is not an old video. This is literally recorded over the span of a month within the last month. Over the span of a month within the last month, he's at dinner. He's taking strolls in the park. He's meeting her at the cafe and having coffee. And this dude is telling you right out, and they put the caption on there, it's not about who the president is. Y'all think it's Biden. Nope. It's not about the president. It's about who's controlling the wallet of the president, who's promising the president what's going to happen after the president no longer is the president. President Obama is more rich than he's ever been in his entire... President Obama, they say President Obama and Michelle Obama is billionaires now.
So it's
And who's that?
the hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates. And obviously, we have the system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator.
If you have 10, yo, I'm telling you, I was very, very skeptical of even playing this video in the first place. He said, if you got 10 grand, these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. I want me a senator. Who's my local senator? Don't worry about it. I don't want you to know where I'm going to be at buying senators. I love buying me some humans. I spent 10 grand on a throw at the casino probably 2 weeks ago. One throw, 10 grand. One throw, 10 grand. If you got, he said these guys are fucking cheap. If you got $10,000, you can buy a senator. This is a man that is running his mouth to a woman that don't have his best interest at heart. If you got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. See, this is the Millionaire Morning Show. This is the stuff that the black community don't want to have a conversation about. They're not giving you this sauce on none of these other channels. Anton Daniels is giving you the sauce.
I can give you 500K right now. No questions asked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. We're done.
Does like everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
It doesn't matter who wins.
You're still right.
They're in my pocket at this point.
It doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't really matter who wins. You know, one of the things that people don't understand is that when Donald Trump was really, really heavy into business and he wasn't into politics, and one of the reasons why he said that we needed to drain the swamp, And how do you know that we need to drain the swamp? Because he said that he knows everything that happens within the swamp. What people don't understand is that if you look at campaign financing records, Donald Trump, he donated to both the Democratic and the Republican candidates that would be in both elections. Both the Democratic and the Republican candidates. He would donate to both of them. Both of them. Where do you think that super PACs came from? How do you think that it's so easy for people to be able to hide the money that they donate over into these senators and these congressmen and these legislative branches? Y'all, you know the funniest thing about this whole thing is, y'all think that it's meaningful that you over here writing letters over into these congressmen and these senators, and you think that they actually care about you. This man just told you for $10,000 you can have your own senator. For $10,000 you can have your own senator.
Here's Serge Varley on how good war is for BlackRock's business.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Yeah, I mean, I do have thoughts.
What are they?
Ukraine is good for business. You know, right? I'll give an example. Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos. Price of wheat's gonna go mad up. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market.
Are y'all paying attention? Because I know that y'all think that the war, America could have just not participated in the war and they could have gave us our reparations. You don't really see the Tetris play. You don't see the dominoes falling. You don't see what it is that he's saying. Ukrainian economy is largely tied to the wheat market. So why not empower these presidential candidates, allegedly, and all of your legislative branches to help protect us by sending over this and that and going on? I'm going to send billions of dollars. I'm going to send our latest drone technology. I'm going to send some tanks over there. I'm going to send some heat-seeking missiles and all of this other type of stuff. You know why? Because we're able to control and we know exactly what's going to happen to the wheat market, knowing that the Ukrainians are very largely tied to the wheat market. Well, what happens when we then have a war over in Ukraine? Well, that means that we're going to limit the amount of wheat that's output, and then the value of wheat is just going to go up. So if I already know what the play is, because this is like insider trading on steroids. If I already know what the fucking play is, if I already know how the senators and the congressmen and the legislative branches and what the force announced to the general public, if I already know what's going to happen with our politicians, if I already know exactly what the price of this is going to be compared to what it is in yesteryear, that's better than fucking owning a casino. That's better than owning. War is profitable. So while your kids is over there fighting a war, right? Guess who's monetizing from it? Damn, I should just end this live stream right now. I'm not even sure that I need to even be having this conversation, but let's continue.
Prices of bread, literally everything it goes up and down. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real good for business. It's exciting when goes wrong, right? BlackRock manages 20 trillion. It's incomprehensible number.
So he's saying that, BlackRock actually controls even more than we thought that it is. Because see, the CNBC report said that BlackRock controlled 9.5 trillion. This guy right here, all it takes is a woman shaking her butt in front of you. You know what I'm saying? She probably a plain Jane white girl that's over there. Probably gave him a little bit of love, said that, listen, you so cute. Why don't we go over to your place? He said it's actually closer to 20, and it's incomprehensible numbers.
BlackRock Serge Varley says all of this is above a normal person's understanding.
You're like an undercover reporter. Normal people don't give a shit. This is beyond them.
Look, and think about it. He had already figured it out. His instinct said that, you like an undercover reporter. Like, most people don't even ask these type of questions. His instincts had kicked in, and he realized, listen, I don't even know why I should even be talking to you. But guess what he continued to do? He ignored his better judgment and he kept fucking talking.
So interesting.
OMG News. Here, BlackRock, shares of companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Anheuser-Busch, Meta, Target, Procter & Gamble, Comcast, CNN, Fox, and yes, Pfizer. Just to name
Wait a minute, you're telling me that BlackRock controls both CNN and Fox News? They control the competitors. They have a vested interest in both of them. They control what's being put out to the media, what stories is going out. They have a vested interest in this?
At OMG, we do not shy away from exposing powerful companies, and we're not afraid of the influence BlackRock has on our politics and the influence they have on our culture. So to do that, what better place to start a hidden camera investigation than into a self-described gatekeeper at BlackRock?
Like, you're kind of like a fucking gatekeeper at BlackRock.
Yeah, I am. I decide people's fates. Every fucking day, I literally decide how somebody's life is going to be shaped.
This nigga's God. And God got finessed by a woman. Playing God and got finessed by a woman. Shout out to Eve. I bet you this woman's name is Eve. This dude literally just said, yo, I decide people's fates. Every day I decide your fate. And getting finessed by a chick for the streets.
That's so powerful. I love it.
Yeah,
That's so powerful. I love it. Boy, that's so powerful. I love it.
I don't know, the whole thing of like domination from a concept is it's so interesting.
Introducing Serge Varley, whose LinkedIn says he's worked for Morgan Stanley, Citadel, and now as a recruiter at BlackRock.
I work for a company called BlackRock. I'm not actually a finance guy. I know what happens because I'm recruiting people who do these things. I'm the person who headhunts people from other firms. So I would approach you and be like, hey, this is a good reason why you should come work for us.
Serge tells us who really runs the world, how they do it, and just how much it costs to buy people, like politicians.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's
And who's that?
The hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates.
How so?
All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians.
How do they run the world?
You acquire stuff. You diversify, you acquire, you keep acquiring, you spend whatever you make in acquiring more. And at a certain point, your risk level is super low. Like, imagine you've invested in like 10.
Look at this dude. He got a bottle of wine, getting sauced up, sitting there on sitting there on the grass at a picnic, having a conversation with a chick. Unreal.
Different industries, from food to drinks to like technology, right? One of them fails, it doesn't matter. You have 9 others to back you up. Risk management is inherently in just about everything, and in the finance space, it's all about it's all about the money you make. You don't let it sit. You keep using it over and over, and
Reinvest.
Yeah, and it exponential growth.
And then once you just own a little bit of everything, is that where the control?
Yeah, you own a little bit of everything, and that little bit of everything gives you so much money on a yearly basis that you can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. Obviously, we have this system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. It doesn't matter who wins.
You're still right.
They're in my pocket at this point. I can give you $500K right now, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do what needs to be done? I'd be like, yeah, of course.
And
why not?
does everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
The The BlackRock recruiter also tells us about how the U.S. government relies on BlackRock for their economic simulation computational power.
Economic simulation. They need to understand the impact of something, right? They're gonna raise the interest rate, for example. It's gonna create this cascade of various factors that people they're not sure what it's gonna do, basically.
And just how f***ing great the Ukraine war is for business.
Do you have any thoughts on the
we already got to this point.
Russia
I
war?
want to move forward.
Ukraine is good for business. Up events, that's what people like to watch. So when it happens, it's good business. More viewers. When nothing's happening, watch news. I don't watch news.
They're all pushing like the same talking point. Like you generally, when you look at news, like
it's propaganda. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. And so, yeah.
Even gave our journalists some tips.
based on everything we know now, when they say to sell, does that mean we should buy?
And so, yeah. It's like, you know Jim Cramer? If you do exactly the opposite of what he's advising, you actually make money.
Huh?
Yeah. It's like, it's called the inverse Cramer. They don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it.
And that's crazy. It's crazy how a woman can get this level of information, A, out of a man. And then this B, is because we all kind of knew this. Like, a lot of people know that there's people that's controlling things, but it's different when you have somebody that confirms it, that actually works for the organizations and goes in and says these type of things.
Recently sold $100 million worth of BlackRock.
Now, a lot of people don't know that Larry Fink is actually the CEO of BlackRock.
Wow. Damn, Larry, that's not a good sign. The people who trade and make money, they do this the moment the information is out. And that info is typically disseminated at private levels first before it hits the main.
So that basically means it's insider trading. What's this guy's name? I wonder if we can find out if this dude even still exists anymore. What's this dude's name? Serge Varley? Serge Varley, huh? Oh, his LinkedIn disappeared, that's for sure. Oh, there's no more Serge Varley on LinkedIn. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I wonder where Serge's LinkedIn went. Where do you think it went, Rita? Anyways, neither here nor there. So apparently Serge has disappeared from the internet. Yo, if anything ever happens to Anton Daniels, I will not destroy myself. I will not execute myself. I am not suicidal. I am not scared. I am not crazy. I feel really good. I am in my sound right mental mind. I am not cancerous. I do not have any terminal diseases. I do not have any venereal diseases. I do not have anything wrong. I do not have anything that's stressing me. I'm not having issues. I don't have any side chicks. I don't have any kind of things that's happening. I have nothing going on in my life whatsoever that would cause me ever at any point to be distressed or bothered, to ever get mad or to have a problem or to go and jump off a bridge or to disappear to another country. I do not have anything whatsoever that's going on in my life that makes me feel a certain type of way. As a matter of fact, not only am I not like that, listen, hey, BlackRock, I don't mind working for you. The bag, I am a bag chaser. I am a person that will execute on the vision of what Larry Fink thinks makes the best, is in the best interest of the company. Come and kick it with your boy. Shout out to BlackRock. They said don't go swimming, please. Oh, let me read some of these super chats. I got to get out of here and go over to what it is that I got to take care of. Shout out to Miss Crow T. Shetty in the building. I appreciate you for holding me down. Gave me that super chat, that pear-shaped character. I appreciate you. Marcus X is in the building. Marcus X always comes with the smoke. He says, I'm a bag chaser. I like Anton and his channel because I like people I can agree and disagree with. I believe in repair to black people from the government with love. Well, if you think that you're going to get your student loans forgiven, though, or if you think that you're going to get reparations, I got another thing coming for you, big dog. Shout out to Marcus X in the building. Yo, shout out to the Parlay Boys podcast says, I spend time learning money. You know about BlackRock. Yo, J-Dub is in the building. Shout out to J-Dub says, sent over that super sticker. I appreciate you. Bryant Smith. Shout out to Bryant Smith is in the building. Bryant Smith says you were going to spend $10,000 on Dr. Umar. I was. Because I just want to see how much it's going to cost for him to stand in front of somebody that may be a little bit different than what it is that we got going on out here in these streets. But instead, I might buy me a senator. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the senator. Yo, let me give a shout out to Melifin is in the building. Says JOK is one of the best independent journalists. I think his name is O'Keefe. Best independent journalist out there. I had the privilege to work for him before at the Coop at Project Veritas. He was one of the most driven people I've ever met. Great job. Oh my God. Yeah, he is dope. I have checked out a few of his things, so that's absolutely awesome. Let me give a shout out to Christopher J. Says, rookie mistake, talk too damn much. Just bust her down and keep it moving, big dog. Vince Geralds is in the building. Says, wouldn't be surprised if she comes up. Well, it's the reason why she didn't show herself on camera, right? She kept her name and whatever she said off camera. Brock is in the building with the 6 ball. Says, homie sounding kind of sassy. She turned him into a chatty patty like he was promised. A free ticket into the sisterhood and a thong. Pass a love offering. Shout out to Brock. I appreciate you. QBZ. What up, though? QBZ says, hold on. Says, wait till people learn that companies like BlackRock artificially raise meat prices under the guise of COVID by destroying perfectly good chickens. And guess what's going to happen right after that? Nothing. Because you know what they're going to be focused on? Whether or not they want to get reparations. And if ain't nothing going to happen. Listen, people know and they see stuff all the time and they completely ignore it and it doesn't even matter. Shout out to Chris J in the building. Says, you have all this power and got caught pillow talking in the park at a picnic with some ugly socks. Men, we got to regroup. That's the best super chat I've ever seen Chris ever say. Bilderberg, boy, is in the building. Says, Alex Jones was talking about BlackRock 15 years ago. Yeah, I've known about BlackRock for a while. I didn't know they had between $9 and $20 trillion in assets under management. That's crazy. Shout out to Real. Says, I think bro capping about working for BlackRock. Nah, I don't think he was capping at all. He didn't disclose anything that wasn't already known. He's using BlackRock name to pull women. Nope, I don't agree with you. I think that he knows a lot, and he was out there pillow talking. LLC says he got that cheap bottle of wine, too. Can't even afford to drink that. Razik is in the building. Shout out to Razik. Razik says, for the people in the back, Vanguard owns 7% of all U.S. securities. Bridgewater owns over 10% of the entire S&P, and BlackRock owns 7% of the entire S&P. Shout out to Razik in the building. Shout out to my dog, Classy Beast. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. Said the story of Adam and the story of Samson, the story of Potiphar's wife. Need I go on? Dudes just always fumble in the bag, man. Marcus X is in the building. Says, had a full scholarship at Morehouse. No loans. Shout out to you. That's an accomplishment right there. Space is in the building. Says, how you not hearing a reporter in her? Because listen, when guys is blinded by the P, they hear and see what it is that they want to see. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I would pull y'all up. Usually on Fridays, I pull y'all up on the panel. However, I have to go over to some meetings, and I got to get over to Valuetainment, and I got to take care of some business. But I am looking forward to having you guys on Fight Club, because we got a special conversation that we got to have based off of the fact that y'all was saying some wild, egregious shit last night on the Anton Daniels channel. And I declare, and I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back, Pac is not a top 5 rapper of all time. Tupac Shakur is not a top 5 rapper of all time. But we're going to have that conversation. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Jake is in the building. Hit me off with a fireball. Says, I will be at the Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida this weekend. Come over to small poker tables and lose $100. Y'all got to have more than $100 if y'all want to play with me. Rita, why is you laughing? Why are you shaking it? Rita is cracking up at y'all right now. Why are you laughing, Rita? What don't they know, Rita? My wife called me a lunatic, yo. Why you called me a lunatic, Rita?
Because the amount of money that you gamble with is crazy to me.
Rita said the amount of money that I gamble with is crazy. I'm going to be honest with y'all, yo. Man, this is the honest to God truth. Here, matter of fact, I'll show you where my last cash out was at the casino. I took a picture of it because Rita was like, how much money did you take today? I only do orange chips. Orange and up. Orange and up. Orange and up, baby. That's it. The rest at the bottom, the little couple chips, the little $30, $35 at the bottom. That was for the cashier, the cage. We only do orange and up, baby. Orange and up. All right. That's 8. This is like 20,000 right here. That's 20,000 at the table right there. And let me show you the date. Look at the date at the top. Hold on, let me spin that around. Just for the people in the back, because a lot of people think that we be over here talking shit, and we don't talk shit. We back it up. That's the date right there at the top. See that? June 12th. That was just a couple weeks ago. June 12th, all right? 1:37 p.m., June 12th. All right, so listen. We that's play money for people like me. That's play. Whatever it is that you think that you spent, it's for the kids in the back. I just got to get this. I'm gonna get this for the kids in the back. Just give me a second. Matter of fact, I'll do you one better. I got it for you. This gonna make you throw up right here. This might make you throw up. Hey, tell your favorite rapper to get his money up, man. Tell your favorite rapper to get his money up, all right? Let's see if we can pull this up. I don't know how to do this on here. How long is it going to take us to get there, Rita?
30 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we got time. We'll be all right. I got you, boo. Give me a second. Give me a second. I want to make some people throw up real quick. All right, let's do this. We'll just pull it up right here. We'll pull it up right there. Right here. Right there, right here, right there. Hold on. We consistent with it over here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We can shoot that though. Whatever it is that y'all want to bet, y'all want to shoot, we can shoot that. Damn, I don't even know how to show nothing. Where that at? Where that at? Where that at? Maybe God don't want me to show you. I don't know. Maybe God don't want me to show you. Maybe God don't want me to show him. Maybe he don't want me to show you. Maybe he don't want you to throw up. And I get it. I'm with that. Look at Roger feeling some type of way. Now, kids, don't do this at home. It's way above your pay grade, all right? Don't do this at home, kids. This is for June. Should I do May or should I do June? Let's do the current month. For June 2023. What is you looking at? For June 2023. June 2023. You see that? So I need y'all to get y'all money up. I need y'all to get y'all money up. That's June. All right. That's just June ain't even fully over yet. June ain't over yet. All right. That's just June. See that June 2023 up there? Right there? All right. So all of y'all want to play, all of your favorite rappers that want to talk all of this shit. Listen, we could do whatever you want to do. Big bank, take little bank, all of that dumb shit that y'all want to talk on a regular basis. You just let me know. Whatever you got in your bank account, we can go and talk about it. Whatever it is that you got, bank account, brokerage account, whatever you want to do. I know a lot of you motherfuckers is taking advice from Boyce Watkins because he's trying to give you financial advice. Some of y'all is taking advice from your favorite rapper because you think that he got it. It's a lot of people that's talking this money shit. It's a lot of people talking this money shit on the internet. Pull up. Pull up. You want to get into a dice game? You want to play big bank, take little bank? Whatever the fuck you want to do, tell your favorite rapper to pull the fuck up and we can have that conversation. Every month, we can go month by month. You want to go month by month? Let's go May. That's May. April, birthday month. That's April. See that at the top? See April 2023? That's April. Month was light. March was light. All right, that's March 2023. It's just a personal account. This ain't got shit to do. This is hold on. Let me go back one more. Let's go February. February. Whatever the fuck y'all think that y'all spending, whatever y'all think y'all spending money on, we can do that shit. We can do whatever you want to do. Whatever you think you spending, we can do that. A lot of people giving fucking financial advice. A lot of people talking that cash shit. Well, let's talk that cash shit. I'm out. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. All right? Now, let me read a couple more super chats. Said I was joking. Oh, no, we can play. We can play whatever y'all want to play. High stakes, low stakes, whatever. Right? Hit the cash app for $1,300. Listen, if I go spend $50,000, that shit don't affect me. I don't even miss it. I don't see it. It don't mean nothing to me. What it is that you make in a year, I spend that shit in 2 weeks. Whatever you make in a year, I spend that shit in 2 weeks. Tell Boyce Watkins to come holler at me. I love y'all, appreciate y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, though. Make sure you tell your friends ourselves. Tell your favorite content creator, your favorite rapper, your favorite entertainer, whoever the fuck you got here out in these streets. Tell them to pull up, show me. That's just one personal account. You will cut your left nut off of what I got in my brokerage accounts. Tell them to come and holler at me. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace. We pull receipts over here. Make sure you join the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And Marcus, you ain't got to hit the lotto, big dog. All you got to do is come over here with the bag chasers. We'll teach you how to get it. We ain't got to hit the lottery. We play big dog over here. You know what I'm saying?